Thank you. First, just to let you know that the responsibility of GMO is accountability. So the aim of the project is really ensuring that there is gender accountability in the private sector. What is the project about? The Gender Equality Seal, in fact, is more than a project. It is a program initiated between Gender Monitoring Office, the private sector, and one UN, especially UNDP. And the objective of the project is to ensure, or program, is to ensure that there is accountability to gender equality in the private sector. Gender Monitoring Office has worked very much and for a long time with the public sector, looking at how gender is really accounted for in the different sectors of the public institutions. And we had some issues of really approaching the private sector, because the private sector is very diversified. They don't have the same rules, they don't have the same regulations, they don't have, each and every company has its own way of doing business. And we noticed that there are a lot of gaps and that the private sector has to be approached. And we come up with this project, which aim is to ensure that there is accountability on gender equality. And we went through different approaches to ensure that the private sector do understand that there is issues and they have to account for them.
This is an extremely important program for us, and essentially what we're trying to do is to support both the private sector federation but also the private sector companies, both large and small companies in Rwanda, to mainstream gender. And I don't want to use that in a sort of general sense. What we're talking about is to change business practices, to change how things operate in the workplace, to change the way they communicate about issues, to create greater equality of opportunities for men and women in the workplace. And we're working very closely with the Private Sector Federation and with the Gender Monitoring Office and the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion, Ministry of Trade, and many other stakeholders, including other UN agencies like UN Women, to see if we can drive that agenda of change in the private sector. The policies are there, the laws are there. It's the awareness and the commitment that hasn't been there. We're trying to build awareness amongst the private sector and across society. So there's building awareness, then build commitment. So when we engage with these CEOs of the private companies, we say to them, listen, take this on as a personal task within your organization. 20 companies are currently signed up, and they've been trained, and they're using the tools to do the internal analysis to see where their strengths and weaknesses are in terms of gender equality in their workplace.
There are so many things that boys and girls can do and earn income and initiate and innovate. This is what we are discussing with the private sector, is to try to bring in the different forces of this nation, looking at the gender imbalances or discrimination or mindset that is preventing people really to be where they have to be and to engage and work. So in a nutshell, that is what we wanted to do with the private sector, is to enforce really that accountability coming from themselves and looking at how they can bring in both genders and they promote where promotion is needed.